Hi, my name is Michelle Drucker and I'm the Global Head of Commercial Content at IGB. Today I'm here with Hemant from SkyControl for an interview to get to know a little bit more about Hemant and the company. Hemant, thank you so much for joining me today.
Absolute pleasure.
Um, Lovely. So, I'm going to start with my first question. So, Hemant, your career experience is so versatile and so interesting to say the least. Previously working as a financial director, a doctor, and now a gaming CEO for Sky Control. What made you leave working as a doctor to move into the world of iGaming?
Yeah, Michelle, thanks for the question. I've been asked this so many different times. So, from the medical side to the betting world. Look, I grew up in horse racing. I grew up near the horse racing industry in Mauritius. My family used to be in horse racing. Well, we still are in the horse racing. So I knew a bit about the gaming world via that. But at the time when I went to do medicine, there were no real advice. I wanted to do maths, but to come back to Mauritius, I didn't want to be a teacher because that was the only thing I could think of. So I like biology, so I went to do medicine. I must say it was a great decision because I really enjoyed medicine, and nothing will give me more satisfaction than treating people, saving people's lives, making them better. You can't beat that. I still remember treating panicking parents coming into the surgery when I was a GP with their 4-year-old daughter with an acute asthma attack, and it was you could see their face, completely white, panicking, what to do, and the girl needed, in fact, to be in hospital. But while waiting for the ambulance, we started treating her, and it was so satisfactory to actually see the 4-year-old girl improving in front of our eyes, and you could see the parent getting more and more relief as the blue lips turned back to normal, the breathing getting better. You still remember that. I'll always remember this for the rest of my life. Treating cancer patients, and I remember treating somebody who came in with a heart attack, no pulse for 15 minutes, but we managed to bring them to life. Things like that. But at one point, when you're a GP, you're seeing 40, 50 patients a day, looking after hundreds of paperwork. That was in the UK, so you can imagine. It was so stressful. And in 2013, at the time, my father was a major shareholder of a small betting company in Mauritius, and they were looking for a CEO. And I thought, oh, what about, trying my luck in there? Because I was thinking at one point, so, okay, I love treating patients, but what about myself? Life is too short. What do I want? Because things was getting more and more stressful. So I thought, well, I'll try my luck on the CEO. So I had a discussion or an interview with my own father and said, look, I can have a go at this. He said, what do you know about betting? I said, look, I've loved maths and stuff. And I think what tilted in my favor was I was bringing his grandkids back to Mauritius, So he said, "Okay, come along and try your luck." It hasn't been too bad actually. We've done very well. We almost number one in Mauritius now. It's been 12 years, so it's done we've done very well with that. And the mathematics side and stuff has been very interesting. So that's how went from medicine to betting well.
Wow, that is really what a transition. No, thank you for sharing that, man. Really appreciate
That's
that.
pleasure.
So your experience of meeting your co-founder Sylvie is a really lovely, interesting story that you shared with me last time we met. Can you talk about how that partnership was formed at ICE in London? I think you mentioned 2 years ago.
Yeah, I think it's just fate, because at the time I was in London, it was the last London Ice, and I was in Lincoln with my wife. My wife doesn't get involved on the betting side, gaming side. She was looking after. She was there for more for my son, who we sent back to the UK to do his O level. And she's always questioned me about the betting world. And I said, look, ICE is happening. It's our wedding anniversary as well in that week. I said, well, come along, and I'll show you what the betting world is like, and at the same time, we can go to a nice restaurant, enjoy ourselves in London. And on that, I think it was the second day at ICE. At that time, we were promoting, myself and my partner from Mauritius, promoting a revolutionary SMS app. And I was trying to make an appointment on the phone, texting a guy who I knew. And Laura, my wife, tapped me on my shoulder and said, "Hey, these two guys wants to speak to you." I turned around, it was Andre and Sylvia, and that's how I met them. It was just funny that my wife introduced me to them. But because I was doing the SMS at the time, Andre, who has got 20 years experience in the gaming industry, they were, I think, trying to promote their developed casino platform. And so we met there. We decided, look, let's have a chat how we can work together, when I go back to Mauritius and they go back to Romania. And that's where we started. Initially, we developed a unique offline casino platform. And then Andre had that genius idea of producing the Sky Control, the player versus player game, and this is where we are now.
Amazing, thank you. So with Sky Control, you've stated that your company aims to set a new standard in iGaming, blending in a fusion of competitive gameplay, community-driven features, and innovation that drives both player retention and operator success. How would you say that this is different or unique from what your competitors are doing?
Yeah, I mean, Sky Control is just the first game that we plan to actually come out with. We were planning to do other games in the last year, but Sky Control has taken off so well. We are now in 30 plus countries in Africa, and about 8 to 9 countries in Asia. We've had very good interest in Europe from no less companies, multi-billion worth of companies, and even in LATAM, we've already done a deal with a company that's in 5 countries. So, since starting last year in January, I think as a startup, and we like to think that we're still a startup, we've done very well. And I think it's the uniqueness of it. We came out 1 week before ICE. On the third day, I spoke to a gentleman from Betway, and we agreed to work together. So Betway, we had that deal done, if you want, at ICE on the third day of ICE.
What are your three big predictions for the iGaming industry for this year in 2026?
I'm not very a technical guy, so I think it'd be more appropriate to ask this to my technical person. But from my observation over the last year and the last what I've seen at different conferences and what I've seen in ICE last time, there's more AI stuff coming through, and I think AI will really influence the gaming industry in the next year or even more the next few years. People will be using AI more in I don't know, odds, fraud. Every I think every department of the gaming industry will be using AI. I'm hoping PvP game will become big in the next year. But player versus player, you can see the younger generations tend to like more social games. You can see it on when they're playing the games against friends. My son plays these war games against my nephew who is in India. Another nephew is joining in Canada. So it's more like a PvP game, and then the younger generation that's playing more and more in the gaming industry, they are looking for that, and I think the PvP games will take off quite well in that sort of industry. And I think, look, apart from that, I think crypto. I saw a lot of more and more crypto casinos. While discussing with other companies, you just see more and more crypto casinos coming and approaching us for the game. So I think cryptocurrencies will be crypto casinos will be taking off quite quickly. I think, especially when you see more and more regulated industries. Countries where there's more and more regulation, taxes and stuff in the betting world. And I think that will crypto. I guess that's why it's pushing clients to go more into crypto casinos. I think that will take off quite a lot in the next few years.
Perfect. Thank you so much for your time today, Hemant. I really enjoyed that interview,
Thank you,
and
Michelle.
looking forward
It was
to
my pleasure.
working with you in the future.